am so honored to be here. I don't even know if I haven't, oh God, I don't even know if I could adequately express with words how grateful I am to share this space with you here this morning. Thank you for not just tuning in and listening, but for just choosing to spend some of your precious time here with me and with the She Is Me conference. I am grateful. I am grateful to be here with you, and I am grateful that you are here with me. So, October is usually a pretty busy month for me. October is one of those months that I just love. I'm a pumpkin spice girl, and I love sweaters and all that kind of stuff. But October is also my birthday. For one, I turned 39 last week, which I feel is like I'm okay with it. I'm good with it, right? Like I've never really been one of those people who has been like someone who dreads birthdays, right? I'm not usually someone who does that. I think that I kind of belong to the camp of not everybody is granted the gift of getting another year older. And so I feel like that's worth celebrating, right? I feel like that's worth paying attention to. So I tend to try to embrace getting older, be proud of another birthday. So I turned 39 on October 10th. I do feel, though, with the change of a decade, right, which is what I'm approaching right now, I feel like the change of a decade is a time when I usually get a little bit more nostalgic and a little bit more reflective. Um, I feel like looking back on the past 10 years, like when you get to that 39, 29, 19 kind of age, you kind of start to look back and think, yeah, girl, what do you have to show for yourself? What have you done the past 10 years that is worth noting? Because I don't know about you, but when I was younger and I looked, when I was like 8, 9 years old, or even like 14, 15 years old, and I saw a woman in her 30s, I thought that woman had all her ducks in a row. I thought she was a full-grown woman who probably knew how to like do her taxes on her own, like probably knew how to find car insurance, like she was a full-grown woman who had all of her ducks in a row, and I don't even have the same animals, let alone put them all in a row. So I feel like when we get to that point, that 39, 29, 19, we start to get a little bit more self-critiquey, right? And this is no exception for me. This year, this decade of being in my 30s, I think I've really kind of embraced the notion that I might be a creative person. Let me tell you why I say it that way, because in my mind, for as long as I can remember, creative people, okay, and this is just my own neuroses. Creative people are the ones who cut things out of felt, right? Who made like popsicle stick picture frames and who made like macaroni necklaces. That stuff grosses me out. You guys, I don't want to have anything to do with that, not in any way, shape, or form. I didn't even want to have anything to do with that when my son was age appropriately doing those things. They're sticky, right? They're sticky, and truth be told, they're kind of gross. So coming to terms with the fact that I might also be a creative person was kind of hard to wrap my head around. But in my 30s, I have come to accept that my form of creativity might not be popsicle sticks or macaroni necklaces or anything like that. My form of creativity is my writing. My form of creativity is my speaking, is my listening, and my choosing to connect with other people. So I decided that there has to be an outlet out there for me that is going to embody all of these things, and I can use all of these things to produce one awesome thing that I can be really proud of, right? And that's when I decided to enter the world of podcasting. Okay, here's the thing about podcasting, though. Podcasting, to me, sounds like something smart people do. Right? Like techie people. If you were to ask me like a year ago, if you were to say to me, "Hey, Leah, I have a podcast and I'd like you to check it out," I would be like, "I would love to do that for you. Just let me know when it hits theaters." Because, right, that's where we listen to podcasts. I have no idea. I had no idea about podcasting. And so I decided to take the initiative, and I decided to try to get creative. And I did what most of us do. I feel like in today's day and age, I attended the University of YouTube. I watched every video on YouTube about podcast. I finished YouTube. I got to the end of YouTube. Okay. By the time I got to the end of it, I was a sound engineer, a podcast editor, a marketing advisor. So basically, you guys, I'm coming to you today as the host, the editor, the producer of the Leah Ideology podcast. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I actually can't see you. I just feel like when we can point and wave and say thank you, we should do that as much as possible, right? So thank you. I know you're excited, and I know you're going to listen in because it's worth a listen for sure. So the podcast launched in June of 2022, so it's still in its infancy. But when it did launch, it was super important for me to introduce myself to my listeners in a very real and vulnerable and open kind of way. I've learned over time, I've learned over being around people now for 39 years, I've learned that the quickest way for others to be vulnerable with us is to offer that vulnerability first, right? Is to open up and share and be brave enough to do that first. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to show my listeners, that anybody listening from all over the world, I wanted them to know and to feel that I am a safe space. And I wanted to do that by showing my wounds and showing my battle scars. So I came up with this idea. This is how I decided to introduce myself to my listeners. I decided to write a letter to myself 20 years ago. Okay. So right now, the year is 2022. I just turned 39. 20 years ago, the year was 2002. 2002, and I had just turned 19. I had just graduated from high school. I was about to head off to college. That's the girl that I wanted to talk to. That's the girl that I wanted to write to. So for you this morning, for you today, for you listening to this speech right now, I want to share that letter for you. I want to share it with you because I want you to know who I am, all of my walls down, all of the curtains down. You can peek behind the curtain and see the wizard. This is her. And I want you to hear my story from me, right? That's important to me. I want you to hear it from me. And when it's over, when the letter is done, I want to talk to you about what is important to me. I think it's important to mention that I would love it if you could just sit and listen. I don't want you to write anything down. I'm not going to be teaching you anything. I have no presentation. I have no bulleted items or worksheets for you to work on. I would just love it if you could just sit with me and just listen and just be here with me, because I want to tell you my story so that you and I can feel at the end of this like you and I are a little bit closer. Okay? Let's do it. This is the letter that I wrote to my 20-year younger self in 2002. Here we go. Dear 2002 Leah, hi, love. Before we get going, I feel like it would be helpful to acknowledge the uncomfortable and gigantic elephant in the room. I mean, you're graduating from high school, you're going to college in a couple of months. Maybe enough time has passed that you need to talk about it so you can put it to rest so we can all move on. Okay? Girl, that haircut that you got in 7th grade, you know the one. You know exactly the one I'm talking about. You walked into the hair salon and you felt like such an adult when you said, "Hi, I'm here to get the same haircut as Rachel from Friends, please." The hairstylist looked at you and said, "Yeah, no problem." And she probably did the very best she could with what she had to work with. But I need to tell you right now in 2022, now that you're kind of old enough to know the difference, girl, it wasn't it. That wasn't it for you. The Rachel haircut, you in no way, shape, or form resembled Jennifer Aniston from Friends. You kind of looked more like a lost boy from Neverland. So I just feel like maybe now we can move on, right? We learn, we grow, we mature. Okay. So I'm talking to you right now from the year 2022, okay? 20 years into your future. I know that you're in a phase right now. Everybody's in a phase at 18, 19 years old where ain't nobody can tell you nothing. And I get it. I get it. So I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to talk. and you keep getting ready to go out with your friends, and maybe something I say will grab your attention. I'm going to be talking about tough stuff, is the thing, stuff that's going to be hard to hear. Because up until now, your life has been damn near perfect. You are loved and you're safe. You are confident in who you are, and you are confident in what's expected of you. And you are determined to not disappoint anybody, most especially your family. You are expected to go out into the world and do well. And right now, as you stand in your bedroom, putting on that mascara to go out for the evening, these are expectations that you can guarantee that you won't just meet, you will exceed them. So the things that I'm going to be talking to you about may be hard for you to hear. Your fall from grace is not a pretty one. The perfect little world that has been created for you is going to be invaded by the larger outside world, and all the dreams and the expectations that people have for you will end up not matching and not aligning the dreams and expectations that you have for yourself. And that's when you will have to figure out how to navigate through your life using only your gut instincts and your own intuition. I said something that maybe caught your attention, right? Maybe. I see you've put down your mascara and you're starting to stare at your reflection in the mirror. Let me just answer that question for you, babe. You do not need any more makeup. You are beautiful without any of that junk on your face. But I know that this isn't a lesson that you'll learn until you're well over 35 years old. So I'll just take advantage of your pause and I'll keep talking. Okay, love, here's the tough stuff. Let's do it. In a couple of months, you'll go to college and you'll major in communications because your dad told you that you're a good communicator, and in your world, dads are never wrong. In fact, they're the heroes of the story. You will have amazing friends. You will love your professors, and they will love you right back. You will do exactly what you set out to do. You will meet and you will exceed all expectations. But on October 13th, 2002, things will take a turn. You will be sexually assaulted. You will be raped by someone you know and someone who you consider to be a friend. You'll survive it. You will get through it. But then you will be assaulted again 1 year later. On October 13th of 2003, you'll be raped by 2 college football players. They will trap you in a dorm room and they will overpower you. And you will fight back. You will fight back. And you will try to save yourself. But you simply won't have the strength to do it. You'll move home in December of 2003 and you'll file a lawsuit against the males who assaulted you and against the school that you were attending for the way in which they handled your assaults. You'll file this lawsuit not because you want to necessarily, but because your family is hurting. Your parents are desperate for justice, and you want to give them what they want. You want them to feel better. You want to help put their souls at ease. The lawsuit will be invasive. It will be brutal. It will be excruciating. You'll lose friends. You'll lose touch with the world. You'll lose your sense of security, and you'll lose your will to live. And I'm writing you from 2022. So obviously you live through it, but you will limp across the finish line. You'll date the wrong guys. Your self-esteem will be so low, it'll practically be non-existent. You'll date guys that not only reflect that, but will also take advantage of that. But then in March of 2008, you'll meet a good guy, and his name will be Joe. He will be kind, and he will have a big heart. Life will have hurt him just as deeply as it hurt you, and you two will commit to fixing each other. Joe will propose to you in June of 2011, and you'll be married 3 months later. And at the time, on the surface, this was the next step of the fairy tale, right? This was the next step on the path to success. Getting married to a good guy was the next right thing. That was the next box to be checked. And you understood that and you completed the assignment. But you started to wonder why, in your own private thoughts and in your own late night moments to yourself, why are you feeling, no, wait, hold on. This doesn't feel quite right. I can't put my finger on it or give it a name, but something doesn't feel quite right. Yes, I love this man, but getting married and moving forward with all of this feels like somebody else's story and not mine. I don't know how to say no to marriage, but yes to still wanting to be together. I don't know how to say no to this when it feels like I will disappoint literally everyone. I mean, you've been dating him for 3 years. Marriage is the next logical step. This is what's expected of you. So why doesn't it feel right? Why aren't you more excited? You'll bury those thoughts. You'll bury them deep inside, and you'll tell yourself to be grateful instead. And you'll get married. In July of 2013, you will have a son. I know, girl, it's crazy. No, like a human son, like a human baby. You're going to have one. I know. Children are not in your plans. But here's a little life hack from me to you. Leah, I think it's adorable. I think it's so cute that right now in 2002, you think that you can plan and control everything. It's adorable. It's precious. It's ambitious. And I'm very proud of you for reaching for those stars. Yes, I am. But here's the thing. Very little. I'm talking very, 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 very little is going to work out like you planned. I'm talking tiny, minuscule amounts. I mean, dare I say nothing? I'm going to go out on a limb and say nothing. Nothing is going to work out the way that you planned. And you're going to have to roll with the dice that you get tossed. So, yes, I know you don't want kids and you aren't going to have kids, and kids are gross and sticky and needy and blah, blah, blah. Fun fact, your son will be born on July 28th, 2013, and you'll name him Isaac. Shh, it's okay. It's okay, love. It's okay. I can feel your stress and your overwhelm. I know kids are weird, but don't worry. I know how you feel about motherhood. I know you think that you can't do it. I know that you think that it's not for you. But here's the thing. I'm standing in front of you in 2022. I'm telling you right now that I am 9 years into being Isaac's mom. So I can tell you with absolute certainty that those feelings and those thoughts that you're experiencing right now about being a mom, oh, love, they're only going to be amplified by like 8,973%. This is the hardest and craziest shit I've ever done, being a mom. I want to run away from it at least 900 times a day. And that's being pretty conservative. My point is that you will question your motherhood abilities and your motherhood capabilities every single day. Even after being a mom for 9 years, you will think that you are screwing your kid up on a daily basis and twice on Sundays, and you will feel absolutely out of control every single day. This is normal. Even after being a mom for 9 years, you will think that you are ruining him. You will think that you are destroying him. And I can tell you that as long as you're having those thoughts, and as long as you are thinking about your child and the relationship that you have with them, you're doing it right. Parenthood and motherhood for you is a very lonely place. It's going to feel insufferable to you at times. But the world will constantly tell you to be grateful, to be happy. And so you will try your damnedest. That's what you do. You are nothing if you're not a pleaser. So you try to be okay on the inside. You try so hard to be okay on the inside that you actually do damage and you hurt the one thing that you literally need to stay alive, your heart. In December of 2015, the week of Christmas, age 32, you will be admitted to the hospital with heart failure. Your ejection fraction will be 12%. And you'll be told that if you hadn't come to the hospital right when you did, you would have likely died later that week. You will be diagnosed with left ventricular non-compaction cardiomyopathy. It's a genetic heart condition that makes the heart weak. And there is no cure, just meds. And this will change everything. You'll sell your house that you and your family are living in, and you'll move back to your hometown. You'll live on the same street as your parents, 21 seconds away from them to be exact. You'll write your will for after you're gone. Your will. The lawyer doing your will won't even charge you because he's on Team Leah and he's rooting for you and your recovery. You will make decisions about what will happen for Joe and for Isaac after you are gone, after your light is extinguished. Ultimately, your marriage with Joe will disintegrate. You'll make a lot of mistakes, and you will have to learn to live with the regret that comes with making those mistakes. Joe will make mistakes, and he will have to work to find his own path. But don't worry, there's no hatred, there's no rage, there's no animosity. You will try counseling and therapy, and you will do everything that you can to mend what is broken. But after many years of trying, you will decide that while you are amazingly good friends, perhaps husband and wife are not the roles that you're meant to play for each other. Maybe your timelines crossed so that Isaac could exist, so that you could co-parent together, so that you could be supporters of each other's lives, just not in the way that you had originally intended. He will move out. He will date. And you will date. And you will both try your best to quiet those voices that are in your head telling you that children who come from a broken home, which we know from our upbringing, no child should come from a broken home to begin with, right? But if they do, they stand no chance of happiness in achieving success in relationships because of the instability and the lack of role modeling in the home by the parents who couldn't just keep it together for the sake of the family, right? Instead, they decided to embarrass everybody and embarrass the family and make family gatherings uncomfortable and awkward. Also, Leah, Joe, you do know that God doesn't approve of divorce, don't you? So not only does your son not stand a chance at happiness and you've embarrassed your whole family, you're also disappointing your creator. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Speaking of church, you will make the very difficult and tough decision to leave your home church, the church you've attended since early childhood. It was the church that you grew up in. You'll be hurt there. And you'll see that just because people attend church on Sunday mornings doesn't mean that they have any kind of understanding of what human integrity means. Just because someone dresses up and plays the part on Sunday morning doesn't mean that they know what it means to love another human. So you will leave. You will leave and you will believe in the reasons why you leave. and you will not look back. In 2020, there will be a global pandemic. No, okay, listen, like an actual global pandemic. Like people were quarantined and everything. It was crazy. I don't want to like ruin the surprise for you because it gets pretty wild. But I will tell you, if you want to be the most popular girl in the year 2020, babe, I would just start saving this. I would just start stocking up on that toilet paper right now. I just trust me. I know it sounds weird, but to stock up on the toilet paper and you're going to be the most sought after girl in the year 2020. Trust me. During this time when you're quarantined at home and not allowed to leave your house, you'll decide to download an app on your phone called TikTok. You'll give it a try, and you'll actually become mildly TikTok famous. I know, it's so weird. Just let it play out. People do like everything on the internet these days. I'm not kidding. Like people can straight up make bank on the internet for making YouTube videos. I'm totally serious. It's a wild world in 2022. Speaking of the internet, though, in 2021, you will fall in love again. And his name will be James. You will meet him on an online dating app and you'll fall for him as soon as he hugs you in his driveway. He will tell you that he loves you. He will look at you like no one else in the world exists. You will feel a connection like you've never felt before in your life, and he will tell you every day how beautiful you are. He will serve you in so many ways that you have to actually remind yourself that you're not a queen. You will be sensitive to your sensitivities, and he will make you laugh harder than anyone ever has. And he will put in the work to show you that he is a man who loves you, who will protect you, and who will be your biggest hype man. He is your person, your partner. So listen to me. Do your very, very, very best to be open to this relationship. Don't make your old mistakes. Don't withhold any part of yourself because he is going to love all of you. Don't live in the past. You don't deserve that. You listen to your gut. She's never been wrong, not even once. And you, my love, are deserving of this kind of love. So you do everything possible to allow yourself to receive it. In 2022, you're going to start something that they call a podcast. It's basically a radio show, but like anyone can do it as long as you have a microphone or a cell phone. You don't even need to have a microphone. It's pretty easy, although it sounds very techy. You're going to start one because at the age of 38, you're going to succumb to the fact that writing and speaking are your most powerful and relatable and creative outlets. And you want to create a community where you fit in because you don't quite feel that yet. You know that feeling that I'm talking about, the one that you probably have right now as you're looking at yourself in the mirror, 19 years old, full makeup, your hair looks amazing, your outfit is perfect, but you just feel like you don't quite fit in. You feel like you don't have the exact right place to belong. At age 38, 39, you're still going to feel this way. And then one day while you're obsessively scrolling through social media, which is something that we do in 2022, it's super fun and super addicting. Not at all like beneficial, I don't think, but it's definitely something fun to do. You'll see a post on Instagram that says, create what you wish existed. And so that's exactly what you'll want to do. You'll want to create a space for you to exist because you are going to create it. You are going to build a community for people who want to belong and who want to be met and loved exactly where they are. You are going to create a space just like that with your podcast. And I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but for now, your mission is to create it. And this is how you are going to find your place. in the world. Now, girl, honestly, you look beautiful. You look great. You look like a freshly graduated high school senior who is ready to take on the world that she knows it to be. So here's my advice for you right now. Love, do everything you possibly can to pay attention to what you are telling you. You are someone that you can trust, even if you don't fully believe that right now. You have amazing intuition and a huge heart for people. These are your superpowers. Think about it. You feel things very, very deeply. And up until now, you've thought that this was your deepest weakness. Stop trying to change yourself. I know I'm talking to you from age 39, so I can tell you with all the certainty in the world that you will still very much be struggling with this as you enter the year 2023. But I feel like if I can convince you, if I can try to convince you to love yourself in a truer and a more authentic way, even for a second sooner, that's where our hope comes from, right? That's where our strength grows from, right? It's from that place inside of you that you find your light. And I'm rooting for you. Oh, by the way, you're a cat person now. I know, wild, right? You've been a dog person like your whole life. You have 2 cats now, Chunk and Pretty Girl. And I'm not saying that you love them more than your own human son. I'm just saying that if you had to choose between the two, Isaac and the cats, you would need like a full minute to like think things over. Girl, life is wild. It is unpredictable. And it is all yours for the taking. Get ready for the ride. Love, 2022, Leah. Friends, that was harder for me to get through than I expected it to be. I have come to you today. I am here today to simply offer me to you. I don't own a business. I don't have services that you can subscribe to. I don't have a master class that I teach. I'm just here to sit with you this morning. I'm just here to share some stories with you and tell you that I know how overwhelming and unpredictable and unfair life can be. I know. I know that it feels like the heavy feelings oftentimes outweigh the light feelings. I know that being lonely is one of the worst places to be, but sometimes, somehow, it feels like the safest. I know that it feels like some days are impossibly long and that you are never going to get caught up. I know what that feels like. And I know that there are days that you don't even recognize yourself when you look in the mirror. I wish I had answers. I wish I could fix it for you. I wish I could make all the uncomfortable feelings go away. But here's what I'm going to say to you instead. This is why I'm here sharing my space with you. This is what I want you to hear. I am rooting for you. I am rooting for you, friend. I am cheering for you, and I am going to be your biggest hype girl. What does that mean? What does that phrase mean exactly? What are you truly saying, Leah, when you say that to us? When I say that I'm rooting for you, this is the warmth that bubbles up inside of me. This is what I want you to feel every time that I say that I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you means that I want for you whatever it is that you're wanting for yourself. Do you want to lose 10 pounds? Girl, I'm going to root for you. Do you want to sit on the couch and eat 10 bags of potato chips? I'm likely going to join you. It means that I am excitedly listening to what you have to say. It means I'm thoughtfully paying attention to the words that you're saying, and I'm not going to impose my own shit on you. And to be clear, My own shit includes, but is not limited to, my expectations, my beliefs, my advice, my opinions. I will not put those on you because I know that these things don't matter when you are brave enough to share space with me. They're irrelevant because right now I am rooting for you. And it means that I trust you to know what you want and what you need for you. I believe that you have exquisite expertise in who you are, even if you don't feel that way sometimes. And even if you believe, and I believe that if you took time to listen to what's inside of you, that you would know exactly what you need and want. I believe that that answer is inside of you. The one that comes from the inside to the outside, that feeling that makes you exhale, like you finally found that puzzle piece that fits in the exact right spot. I'm telling you that I trust you to listen to that feeling inside of you. I'm rooting for you. It's my acknowledgement to you that I don't know every single thing that you've seen or heard or felt or touched or experienced. So I'm not in a position to tell you how you should live your life, right? I'm simply rooting for you. It means that I'm willing to pause. I'm willing to pause and exist with you, hoping that we'll both be a little bit better afterwards, simply because we took the time to be with each other. It means that I know you might not be where you want to be right now, and I might not be familiar with where you are trying to go, but I see you trying to get there. I see you, and I trust you, and so I'm rooting for you. This is what erupts from my insides when I say this phrase. This is the energy that I intentionally try to bring to the world. This is why I started the podcast. I want to speak this exact phrase into the universe because this is the exact phrase and power that I need as I live my day-to-day life. I think it's the energy we all need right now, isn't it? I know it's tough out there. I'm rooting for you. I know you have feelings of being out of control, and I know you feel pulled in a million different directions. Just pause for 1 second and hear me say that I am rooting for you. Being a human is hard. And even though I can't fix things for you and I can't heal what ails you and I can't take any pain or frustration away from you, I can acknowledge that I am human too. So I know how hard humaning can be. And so I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. And I look forward to the day. I am so excited for the time, the moment that you and I can stand in our full power without needing anybody's approval, that you can stand in your light and say with love and confidence and conviction that this time it's my turn. This time it's my turn. I'm going to take the last piece of pizza. I'm going to choose to eat the last cookie. I'm going to push the door to open the elevator doors. Girl, you deserve that time. You deserve a moment to sit and take in all of the speakers that are here for this conference. You deserve to sit and listen to hear what they have to offer. And then you deserve to take the next step and connect with them. You deserve to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Because this time, it's your turn. This time, it's your turn. And I want you to know that I very deeply and wholeheartedly and am very, very much rooting for you. Thank you so much for joining me and for spending time with me. I'm so grateful to have been here. Lisa, thank you so much.